The capture the morning sun cast long shadows across the government facility as crowds gathered around the massive display cage in the center courtyard. Emma Rodriguez pressed through the sea of curious faces, her heart racing with anticipation and dread. As a xenobiologist working for the Military Research Division, she had been called to witness what officials called the greatest discovery in human history. Inside the reinforced glass enclosure sat a figure that defied everything she thought she knew about life beyond Earth. The being appeared humanoid, but was clearly not human. Its skin shimmered with an iridescent quality that shifted between deep blue and silver, depending on the angle of light. Tall and graceful, with elongated limbs and delicate features, the alien sat in perfect stillness, its large violet eyes closed as if in meditation. Magnificent specimen, isn't it? General Harrison's voice boomed beside her. We captured it 3 days ago when its ship crashed in the Nevada desert. First living alien we've ever gotten our hands on. Emma winced at the word specimen. The being before them looked so peaceful, so vulnerable despite its imposing height. Its breathing was steady and rhythmic, and she noticed the way its four-fingered hands rested gently on its knees in what appeared to be a meditative pose. "Have you tried communicating with it?" Emma asked, unable to look away from the graceful figure. "It spoke English when we first captured it," the general replied with a dismissive wave. "Claimed its name was Zephyr, and that it came in peace. Typical alien nonsense, but it's been silent for 2 days now. Probably planning something." Emma frowned. The being's posture didn't suggest aggression or planning. If anything, it seemed resigned, perhaps even heartbroken. She watched as a small child pressed against the glass, waving excitedly. For just a moment, Zephyr's eyes opened, and Emma saw something that made her breath catch. The alien's gaze was gentle, almost tender as it looked at the child. There was no malice, no threat, just a deep sadness that seemed to echo through the glass. "I'd like to study it," Emma said suddenly. General Harrison raised an eyebrow. "Study it? Rodriguez, this isn't some lab rat. This is a potential threat to national security. We need to understand its weaknesses, its technology, its intentions." "Exactly," Emma replied, her mind racing. "And the best way to understand any intelligent being is through communication, not intimidation." The crowd around them grew larger as word spread about the captured alien. People pointed and whispered, some with fear, others with curiosity. Emma noticed how Zephyr seemed to shrink slightly with each new arrival, its luminescent skin dimming, as if responding to the hostile energy of the crowd. "1 week, the general said finally. "You have 1 week to get useful information from it. If you can't make progress, we'll turn it over to the enhanced interrogation team." Emma's blood ran cold. She knew what that meant. "I'll need unrestricted access." "Fine. But remember, Rodriguez, this thing isn't human. Don't let its appearance fool you into thinking it's anything other than a potential weapon." As the general walked away, Emma remained at the glass barrier. Zephyr's eyes had closed again, but she could see the slight tremor in its hands, the way its breathing had become more shallow. This wasn't a weapon or a monster. This was a person, trapped and afraid, thousands of light years from home. Placed her hand against the glass, and for a moment, Zephyr's eyes opened again. They stared at each other across the barrier, and Emma made a silent promise. She would find a way to help, no matter what it cost her. First, Contact Emma arrived at the facility before dawn, her security clearance allowing her access to the holding area when the crowds were gone. The courtyard felt different in the early morning light, more peaceful, but somehow more ominous. Zephyr sat in the same position, but Emma could see the toll that 3 days of captivity had taken. The alien's skin had lost some of its luminescence, and its posture suggested exhaustion. She approached the cage slowly, pulling up a chair to sit at eye level with the being inside. For several minutes, they simply observed each other in silence. Emma was struck by how human-like Zephyr's expressions were, despite the obvious differences in features. "My name is Emma," she said softly. "I'm a scientist, not a soldier." Zephyr's head tilted slightly, a gesture so familiar it made Emma's heart ache. The alien's lips moved, but no sound emerged. Emma noticed how Zephyr's throat worked as if trying to speak, but something prevented the words from coming. "Are you hurt?" Emma asked, leaning forward with concern. This time, Zephyr's response was clearer. In a voice like wind chimes, barely above a whisper, it said, "Not ... physically." Emma felt a surge of relief. Communication was possible. "I'm here to help," she said, "but I need to understand. Why did you come to Earth?" Zephyr's violet eyes searched Emma's face as if trying to determine whether she could be trusted. Slowly, the alien moved one graceful hand to its chest, where Emma noticed a small, crystalline pendant hanging from what appeared to be woven starlight. "Home," Zephyr whispered, the word carrying such longing that Emma felt tears prick her eyes. "Looking for home. You are lost?" Emma asked gently. Zephyr shook its head, a gesture that seemed universal. "Not lost. Searching. My people got scattered. Long ago. I follow the old paths, the star songs, looking for others like me." Emma was fascinated. Star songs? For the first time, Zephyr's expression brightened slightly. It raised one hand, and Emma gasped as tiny points of light began to dance above its palm, forming patterns that seemed to pulse with their own rhythm. "Navigation," Zephyr explained. "Each star has its voice, its song. Together, they make maps of the galaxy. But Earth's songs are different. Quieter. I came too close, and my ship failed." Emma watched the light display with wonder. This wasn't technology as she understood it, but something far more elegant, more organic. "How long have you been searching?" 50 of your years, Zephyr replied, the lights fading from its hand. "I am the last of my ship clan. The others ... They stopped believing we would find home." The weight of that statement hit Emma like a physical blow. This being had been alone for 50 years, searching for others of its kind with no guarantee. They even existed. The isolation must have been crushing. "I'm sorry," Emma said, meaning it completely. "I'm sorry for what my people have done to you, and I'm sorry for your loneliness." Zephyr's eyes widened with surprise. "You understand loneliness?" Emma nodded. "I've spent my whole life studying the stars, wondering if we were alone in the universe. I know what it's like to search for something you're not sure exists." For the first time since its capture, Zephyr smiled. The expression transformed its face, making it radiant despite the dim lighting. "You are not what I expected from your species. What did you expect?" "Fear, anger. Your people project such strong emotions. But you..." Zephyr studied Emma intently. "You feel like starlight, curious and warm." Emma blushed at the unusual compliment. "Can you sense emotions?" "Not sense. Feel. Your people's feelings are very loud, very sharp, like standing too close to a supernova. But yours are different, gentle." Emma glanced around the empty courtyard, then back at Zephyr. "I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. Do you pose any threat to Earth or humanity?" Zephyr's expression grew serious. "I am a scholar, not a warrior. My people were explorers, philosophers, artists. We never learned to fight because we never needed to. Violence was..." It paused, searching for the right word. "Unthinkable." "Then why are they treating you like a prisoner?" Zephyr's luminescent skin dimmed again. "Because they cannot understand that which they do not fear, and they cannot control that which they do not understand." Emma felt a chill run down her spine. She was beginning to understand the true scope of this situation, and it terrified her. Zephyr, I need to help you, but I need your help too. Will you work with me? The alien nodded slowly. I will try. Emma, who feels like starlight, but I fear for both of us. Your people's emotions are growing darker each day. Soon, fear will overcome curiosity, and then ... Zephyr's voice trailed off. Then what? Then I will join my ship clan among the stars, and Earth will have lost its first chance at true peace. Growing understanding as days passed, Emma found herself spending every available moment with Zephyr. Their conversations had evolved from basic communication to deep philosophical discussions about life, consciousness, and the nature of existence. Emma was amazed by the alien's perspective on the universe, so different from human understanding, yet somehow perfectly logical. Your people see the universe as something to be conquered, Zephyr explained during one of their sessions. We see it as something to be joined. The difference shapes everything. Emma took notes furiously, trying to capture not just the words, but the underlying concepts. How do you mean, joined? Zephyr's hand moved to the crystalline pendant again, and Emma noticed it seemed to pulse with a faint inner light. All consciousness is connected. Every thinking being adds to the great song of existence. Your people sing alone, but we learned long ago to sing together. Is that how you navigate by star songs? Partly. But it is more than navigation. It is understanding one's place in the cosmic harmony. Zephyr's eyes grew distant. I have been singing alone for so long, I sometimes forget the sound of my own voice. Emma felt a profound sadness at those words. Could you teach me to hear the star songs? Zephyr looked at her with surprise. You would want to learn? Even though it would change how you see everything? Especially because it would change how I see everything. For the first time since their meeting, Zephyr laughed. The sound was like silver bells, musical and pure. You are remarkable, Emma. Your people are fortunate to have you. I'm not so sure about that, Emma replied. The general is getting impatient. He wants results, and he's not interested in philosophy or cosmic harmony. Zephyr's expression grew serious. He wants weapons. Yes, he thinks your technology could give us an advantage over our enemies. But we have no weapons technology. We never needed it. Emma sighed. That's not something he's going to want to hear. What will happen to me when you tell him? Emma couldn't meet Zephyr's eyes. I don't know, but I won't let them hurt you. You cannot stop them, Emma. You are one person against an entire system. Maybe, but I have to try. Zephyr reached out and placed its hand against the glass barrier. Emma pressed her palm against the other side, and for a moment she could swear she felt warmth pass between them. You have a good heart, Zephyr said, softly. In my language, we have a word for people like you. Velther. It means one who builds bridges between worlds. What does that make you? Lost, Zephyr replied simply. Emma stared at the alien's hand against the glass, an idea beginning to form. What if you didn't have to be lost anymore? What do you mean? What if there was a way to help you find your people? Or at least find peace? Zephyr's eyes brightened with hope. You would do that? Even knowing it might cost you everything. Emma thought about her career, her security clearance, her comfortable life. Then she looked at Zephyr, sitting alone in a glass cage, thousands of light years from home, and her decision became clear. Yes, she said firmly, I would do that. Then I will teach you the star songs, Zephyr said, its voice filled with quiet determination. And together we will find a way to right this wrong. Over the following days, Emma learned things that challenged everything she thought she knew about the universe. Zephyr taught her to listen to the subtle harmonics that connected all things, to see patterns in seeming chaos, to understand that consciousness was not confined to individual minds, but was part of a vast, interconnected web. Emma also noticed changes in herself. Her perception seemed sharper, her intuition stronger. She could sense the emotions of the people around her more clearly, and she found herself understanding concepts that should have been far beyond her training. "Is this normal?" she asked Zephyr during one of their sessions. "You are opening your mind to new possibilities," Zephyr replied. "Your species has the potential for this kind of awareness, but you have forgotten how to listen." "Why? What happened to us?" "Nothing happened. You simply chose a different path. Not wrong, just different. But now you are choosing again." Emma felt the truth of those words resonate deep within her. She was changing, evolving, becoming something more than she had been before. And with each passing day, she grew more determined to help Zephyr find freedom. The escape plan. Emma's opportunity came when General Harrison announced that the enhanced interrogation team would arrive in 2 days. As she sat across from Zephyr, she could see the alien's despair despite its efforts to remain calm. "I won't let them hurt you," Emma said with fierce determination. "You cannot stop them," Zephyr replied sadly. "They will use methods that will break my mind before they break my body. Then we need to get you out of here." Zephyr's eyes widened. "Emma, that would be impossible. And even if it weren't, it would destroy your life." "My life is already destroyed," Emma said, surprising herself with the vehemence in her voice. "I can't go back to pretending I don't know what I know now. I can't unsee what you've shown me." Over the past weeks, Emma had been studying the facilities, security systems, using her clearance to access areas she normally wouldn't visit. She had memorized guard rotations, identified weak points, and most importantly, she had located Zephyr's ship. "Your ship," she said quietly. "It's in Hangar 7. Can you repair it?" Zephyr's expression grew hopeful. "If the core crystal is intact, yes. But Emma, they will hunt you for the rest of your life." "Then I guess I'll have to come with you?" The words hung in the air between them. Emma hadn't planned to say them, but once spoken, she realized they felt completely right. She had no family, no close relationships, nothing tying her to Earth, except a job that now felt meaningless. "You would leave your world?" Zephyr asked, its voice barely a whisper. "You've shown me that the universe is vast and full of wonders. Why would I want to stay in a place that cages the first miracle it encounters?" Zephyr's skin began to glow brighter, and Emma realized the alien was experiencing strong emotions. "In my culture, such a choice would be considered the greatest honor. To leave one's world to help another find theirs. Then let's honor both." "Our cultures," Emma said. "Tell me what you need." The plan was simple but dangerous. Emma would disable the security systems during the night shift change when guard coverage was minimal. She would then help Zephyr escape to the hangar, where they would attempt to repair and launch the alien's ship. "There is one thing," Zephyr said as they finalized their plans. "My ship's navigation system requires a mental link with the pilot. If you come with me, you will need to allow me to share your consciousness." Emma felt a flutter of fear. "What does that mean?" "It means we will be connected in ways your people cannot imagine. You will experience the universe as I do, and I will experience it as you do. We will be separate but joined, individual but unified." The concept was overwhelming, but Emma found herself nodding. "I trust you." "And I trust you, Emma Rodriguez. Together, we will sing a new song among the stars." That night, Emma made her way through the facility with her heart pounding. Every shadow seemed to hide a guard. Every sound seemed to announce her presence. But her newfound awareness, learned from Zephyr, guided her steps and warned her of approaching danger. The security systems were more complex than she had anticipated, but her enhanced intuition helped her understand the patterns, the underlying harmony of the electronic systems. One by one, she disabled cameras, motion sensors, and alarms. When she reached Zephyr's cage, the alien was waiting, its skin glowing with anticipation. "Are you ready?" Emma whispered as she entered the unlocked code. "I have been ready for 50 years," Zephyr replied, stepping out of the cage for the first time since its capture. Together, they made their way through the darkened facility toward Hangar 7, toward freedom, toward a future neither of them could have imagined just weeks before. Among the stars, the hangar was vast and dimly lit, filled with captured alien technology and experimental aircraft. In the center sat Zephyr's ship, smaller than Emma had expected, but beautiful in its organic curves and crystalline details. It looked more grown than built, as if it had been cultivated rather than constructed. "She is wounded, but not broken," Zephyr said, running its hands along the ship's hull. "The core crystal still sings, though weakly." Emma watched in fascination as Zephyr's touch caused sections of the ship to glow with soft light. The aliens. Hands moved with practiced grace, awakening systems that had lain dormant since the crash. "Can you really repair it?" Emma asked. "We can repair it," Zephyr corrected. "This will require both of us." For the next hour, Emma found herself working alongside Zephyr in perfect synchronization. The alien would show her what needed to be done, and somehow Emma understood exactly how to help. Her hands moved with confidence she didn't know she possessed, manipulating alien technology as if she had been born to it. "The connection is already beginning," Zephyr explained as they worked. "Your consciousness is adapting to the ship's harmonic frequency." Emma could feel it too, a strange tingling sensation that seemed to emanate from the ship itself. The crystalline structures pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat, and she could swear she heard something like music at the edge of her perception. "There," Zephyr said finally, stepping back from the main console. "She is ready." As if responding to Zephyr's words, the ship's entrance dilated open, revealing an interior that was both alien and somehow familiar. Emma followed Zephyr inside, marveling at the way the walls seemed to shift and flow like living tissue. "The pilot's chamber is here," Zephyr said, leading her to a space where two organic seats faced a dazzling array of crystalline controls. "Are you certain you want to do this? Once we link, there will be no turning back." Emma looked around the ship, thinking of the sterile cage where she had first met Zephyr, the fear and hatred in the crowd's eyes, the general's cold determination to weaponize everything he touched. Then she looked at Zephyr, whose alien features had become as dear to her as any human face. "I'm certain," she said. Zephyr nodded and gestured for her to sit in one of the pilot seats. As she settled into the organic embrace of the chair, Emma felt tendrils of warm light begin to emerge from the ship's systems, reaching toward her with gentle curiosity. "Do not fight it," Zephyr said, taking the other seat. "Let the ship learn who you are." The light touched Emma's skin, and suddenly her awareness exploded outward. She could feel the ship's consciousness, alien but friendly, welcoming her with something like joy. She could sense every system, every component, as if they were extensions of her own body. And then she felt Zephyr's mind touching hers, and the universe changed forever. The connection was nothing like she had imagined. Instead of losing herself, Emma felt more herself than ever before, but now she was part of something larger. She could feel Zephyr's memories, its loneliness and hope, its joy at finally finding companionship. In return, she shared her own experiences, her wonder at the cosmos, her determination to do what was right regardless of the cost. "Now," Zephyr said, though Emma heard the words both aloud and directly in her mind, "we fly." The ship rose from high, the hangar floor without a sound, its systems responding to their combined will. Emma felt them pass through the hangar doors, through the facility's defenses, up through Earth's atmosphere, and into the star-filled void beyond. Behind them, she sensed alarms beginning to sound, searchlights cutting through the darkness. But it was too late. They were already among the stars, already part of the cosmic song that Zephyr had taught her to hear. "Where will we go?" Emma asked, though she already knew the answer. "Wherever the star songs lead us," Zephyr replied. "We will search for my people, and if we cannot find them, we will find others who need our help. The universe is vast, and there are many who sing alone." Emma felt tears on her cheeks, but they were tears of joy rather than sorrow. She had left behind everything she had ever known, but she had gained something infinitely more precious: purpose, companionship, and a place in the greater harmony of existence that as Earth grew smaller behind them. Emma and Zephyr flew toward the unknown, no longer alien and human, but something new, something that bridged the gap between worlds. They had become explorers of the infinite, singers of the cosmic song, and together they would help others find their place among the stars. The universe was vast and full of wonders, and Emma Rodriguez, xenobiologist turned cosmic wanderer, had finally found her home.